Spires and Magic. Rise of Spider-Man. Mist and Shadows Part 1. Bright flashes of energy appeared at the doorstep of Twilight Sparkle's house before dissipating, revealing the lavender mare alongside her stallion. Whereas Twilight bore an innocent smile, Pierre appeared rather exasperated as his brow twisted involuntarily. Only a couple of days had passed since he awoke from his coma, but thanks to the good, natural state of his recovery, instant persuasion for Princess Celestia, the doctors allowed the patient to return home on the grounds that he refrained from applying any pressure onto his broken leg till his boot was ready. Sadly, this meant that Pierre was going to be confined to either to a wheelchair or a bed for the next few days. Even though his vision had fully recovered, the same could not be said about his physical being. Unfortunately, while his healing factor was greater than the average human's, it paled in comparison to the likes of Wolverine. Plus, his superpowers had not fully returned, being his spider sense, strength, agility, and ability to stick where walls were still lost. Pierre scoffed. It was irritating. There was nothing he could do for the time to earn his gifts back. Yet, the majority of his frustration was not in the fact that his powers were gone. On a personal level, Pierre was settled for crutches, something far more subtle. But Twilight had insisted otherwise, figuring a wheelchair was best for the safest means of transportation. Sitting with a furrowed brow and scowl, the stallion tapped his hoof feverishly on the arm of the wheelchair. The casts on his leg and bandages around his head were more than enough for Pierre to look, and more importantly, feel ridiculous. "Seriously, Twilight, the wheelchair's a bit much," Pierre groaned, resisting the urge to stand under his own power. Not for the excruciating pain that would ensue to scolding Twilight was certain to unleash. He certainly might have tried it. "I'm only going from one bed to another. I don't want to become a spectacle on wheels." "We're only following the doctor's instructions," Twilight calmly countered, paying her stallion's annoyance no mind. Her stallion. Twilight's smile grew in width at the sound of those lovely words. It felt so nice to call Pierre that. Unfortunately, she could not relish the feeling for long, thanks to the groans that escaped from the male. He had been like this since last night, begging that the wheelchair be left behind. But his whining was on par with the usual ones Pierre excluded whenever he was woken up early, by his standards, making it easy for Twilight to ignore him for the most part. The mare's horns began to sparkle with bright violet energy. A slip of paper levitating from her knapsack and maintaining it persistent in midair, inches away from her face. "He was very specific that you avoid putting any weight on your leg whatsoever. You may not like it, but the wheelchair is meant to help you." She paused, causing the paper to disappear from sight in a flash. Gave the stallion a stern glare. "And it will!" Pierre groaned, folding his toes in a defeated fashion. Twilight was already impossible to argue with under normal circumstances, but now that she was his girlfriend, mere friend by equestrian definition, Pierre knew that from the day forward he would have to bite the nail to keep her happy. Yet, despite his irritated state of mind, the stallion managed to smile, allowing the mare to respond with one of her own. Sure, he'd be immobile for days or weeks, depending on the full return of his powers, but it would not be so bad with Clarky Librarian by his side. "All right, Twilight," he said, breathing out his hoof that fell over the mare's shoulder. Late realization came to his mind, prompting a serious expression to form on the stallion's face. "Looks like you can finally tell me what I've been missing over the week." "It's going to take a while. So much has happened." Nodding, Twilight's horn glowed, causing magical energy to engulf the front door. Once it opened, the lavender mare took a step inside, clearing a path. Before Pierre could hope to decipher what was transpiring, Pink Blur bounded into him, nearly knocking the stallion out of his seat. Twilight took her head and eyes widened, nearly striking her with the force of a meteor. "Huh? Pinky! Be careful! You might hurt him!" Pink coursed through Pierce's body. Some of his wounds having been aggravated, but he managed to smile at the sound of the stifled cries that escaped from the mare. Pinky's hooves wrapped around the stallion's neck, and her face remained buried in his chest. Pierre managed to squirm one of his hooves free before running through her poofy mane. "Hey, Pinky, I miss you too," he strained, respecting the mare's tightening grip. Thankfully, Pinky eventually broke her grip, using her hoof to wipe away tears from her eyes. Raising his brow, Pierre stared at the mare questionably. "What are you doing here? This isn't a cake's place, unless it's been seriously renovated and moved to a new locale." Tears continued to pour from her eyes, but Pinky held a smile on her face. She shifted her gaze to the open door, prompting Pierre to mirror her actions. The stallion stammered. finding an unusual sight inside the abode. Brightly colored streamers rested across several bookcases. A large cat sat on the table in the middle of the room, its vanilla icing design chocolate body too tempting to not notice. Yet, it was not the delicious-looking treat that surprised Peter, but rather the ponies that surrounded it. Fable Dash floated high above every pony, using one hoof to hold the banner highlighted "Welcome Home" against the wall, and used the other to wave at the pair outside. Betty trotted over to her position, and fortunately exercised caution, gently wrapping her hose around Peter's neck for a brief yet affectionate embrace. First I followed the unicorn's example, remaining as gentle as possible as she hugged the stallion. Spike ran through the door and hopped directly in front of Peter. Clenching his jaws, the baby dragon brought his fist into the stallion's extended hoof, killing both individuals to give each other a friendly smirk. Applejack was not as gentle as the others, but while her grip was sound, nothing but affection could be felt. The farmer broke away, managing to give the stallion a friendly wink before any pony could notice. Pinkie, unable to quell her happiness, wrapped her hose around Peter's neck for a second time from behind, allowing her warm yet wet cheek to press against his own. Trembling, her grip tightened, as if desperate to not let go of the fear that something might be lost. Peter sensed this feeling and responded by gently rubbing his hoof over the mare's pair of limbs. "Pinkie, I'm fine," he chuckled, his smile saddening. "No, I don't like making you cry. Cheer up. How can we party if the main girl's crying?" "He's right for once." Peter's eyes opened wide upon spotting a blue figure standing inside the door. Despite keeping her distance, the stallion could see the subtle yet warm smile under the unicorn's silver-blue mane and half-closed violet irises. Extending her hoof, the unicorn hesitated, unsure whether to press onward, but Trixie shook her head and turned back inside, keeping her gaze fixed on the ground. She took a seat near the bottom of the stairs, making certain to keep her own tears at bay. "I believe you should let Parker inside already." She waved her hope dismissively, glanced off to the side. "It'd be easier to explain what's been transpiring that way. I'm very certain he has a lot of questions." "Plus, I'm starving. Please tell me that cake's as good as it looks," Peter added, his stomach occurring with a low growl. Every pony within the vicinity giggled, while the stallion scratched the back of his head sleeplessly. Pinkie eventually broke her grip and stared an understanding smile at Twilight, allowed her friend to take her position behind Peter's wheelchair. Slowly but surely, the pink mare carefully guided the injured pony inside, prompting the others to follow along. However, Twilight remained behind, pausing to stare sternly at the clear sky overhead, a brow furrowed, an unsettling disturbance seeping into her being. "Twa!" Applejack called out, freeing the unicorn from her self-induced trance. The farmer glanced at the sky. Odie immediately turned her emerald, puzzled gaze back to her friend. "What's going on? You were staring at the sky like you saw something." "It's just, I thought," Twilight murmured, trailing off as her mind struggled to recall the bizarre fixation it felt moments ago. Yet the muscles in her body relaxed, as if nothing had ever occurred. Twilight's frown deepened. "I could have sworn I—" Shaking her head, the unicorn paid her rattled nerve no mind, and returned to Applejack with a small smile. "It's nothing." Placing her on the unicorn's shoulder, the farmer returned her smile with one of her own. Both ponies scurried into the group, closing the door in the process. However, the shadows seeped underneath the doorway, silently joining Twilight and the others. His voice within murmured, knowing its time was near and limited. For now, all he could do was listen and wait for the opportunity. "There's no way!" Peter mumbled, his voice filled with disbelief. The stallion sat in Twilight's plush bed with his casted leg over a pillow. He held a newspaper, its hazel eyes scanning over the page several times, but even then his mind refused to believe the words written across the article. "Race ends in a draw, but Spider-Man wins the Heart Manhattan with valiant effort in daring rescue." Peter raised a brow. "I thought the headlines would be much more negative with me nearly. You know, dying and whatnot. So what happened after I blacked out?" He flipped the page, scrolled through the readings, turned back to his previous spot on the paper. "And saying there were no serious injuries to report. Can somebody tell me how a broken leg and deep coma are not serious?" Applejack sat in front of the bear, and shook her head before taking a bite of the slice of cake on her small plate. "It's because every pony doesn't know what will happen. And thanks to Leslie for that. The moment you transferred that stand, she used the magic to create a, what's it call it, a project land." Tilda said questionably, Pierre attempted to understand what the blonde was alluding to, but a small plate holding a slice of cake fell over his lap, bringing his stallion to gaze over to find Twilight by his side, with a warm smile on her face. His mind hummed, still unable to get over what he was finally seeing the unicorn. As he guessed the stallion was to brag, it was indeed for a short time being. He would tell the others the good news at a more appropriate instant. Namely, he was informed on other past developments. Taking a seat on the free side of the bed, the unicorn leaned closer to Pierre, while constantly avoiding to press any weight on his injured body. Placed her hoof over the main picture of the article. The photo was a simple one of Spider-Man slipping off into the distance from afar, but that proved to be rather puzzling for Pierre, considering the picture was clearly taken after the accident, evident by the wreckage caused by a destroyed blimp. What Applejack is trying to say is that Princess Celestia used the magical protection image to hide the truth, I stated, closing her eyes and holding her hoof under her chin. It's a photograph of an interface pattern that, when suitably illuminated through a magical lens, produces a three-dimensional image. Pinky rose from behind the bed, eyes wide. Huh? Twilight groaned out, Lily. Ugh. I made a negative produced by exposing a high-resolution photographic plate without camera lens near something illuminated by monochromatic radiation as from a laser, was placed an entire beam of coherent light through a three-dimensional image of the subject's form. This gag's not really funny. I mean, it's a silly gag, but... And I know Twilight's smart, but... Why not just say illusion spell? The entire room fell silent. Nearly every pony responded with a perfect "What?" Like some hologram or a false image? Pierce says it simply. Yes, exactly. Twilight nodded eagerly. Grateful some pony understood her. It's not an easy spell to perform, but it's nothing for one as powerful and experienced as Princess Celestia. Okay, that explains why no one's really freaking out. But I'm curious about something else. Pierre's mind slowly pieced together the broken fragments of his memory. Who managed to pull me from the debris without anyone noticing, and how? You can thank Princess Luna for that, Peter. Verity politely intervened, taking a sip out of her glass. Fortunately, she was able to use her magic and free the debris with a simple teleportation spell. You were the only life form in the area. All it took was a little concentration on her part. What about the doctors? Wasn't it weird for them to operate on Spider-Man? Pierre murmured, scratching back his head. Tracy brushed a strand of mane behind her ear. You're quite paranoid. I can't really blame you, though. Princess Luna simply just disrupted you with her magic. Woo! And told the doctors you were attacked viciously by Timberwolves. Placing her hoof behind her head, Pierre let out a facile moan. It was so tragic. You were beaten within an inch of your life by those beasts. Considering it was Princess Luna who waved the tail, the doctors were quick to operate without so much as a second thought. All his bases covered, Pierre's eyes remained eyed as saucers, while his cynical mind tried to find some flaw within the circumstances. So, my identity is safe? You are an idiot! Rainbow Dash hovered over Pierre's persistent nodding. Yep, as far as the question knows, you pulled yourself from the rubble and swung off into the sunset. However, Pegasus paused, folding her limbs as the light realizations came to mind. Well, mostly. Spitfire figured out what was going on. I think it was because he was closest to the fake you. Probably saw something wasn't right. Finally, some bad news. Pierre's brow furrowed. So what happened? What's he say? Surprisingly, particularly to the stallion, Rainbow only shrugged and shook her head. Nothing. She just went along with it. Taking the newspaper from Pierre's grasp, Pegasus flipped it over and pointed at an article near the bottom of the page. She was the one who announced to the sea that the race was over. Since none of you crossed the finish line, the justice ended in a draw. There were a few complaints, but that was all cleared up when Spitfire promised every pony there'd be a rematch. Spidey vs. Spitfire 2! More good news. It was almost surreal. So, everything's fine. Don't have to worry about everything. No bad press. No casualties. Pierre's lips curled in a coy smile. Proudest news I've ever gotten. I mean, ever. Besides the lost powers of Broken Lake, of course. But those are only temporary. I'm already healing up. My powers will be back before you know it. I'm real happy to see you cheering up, Plate. Applejack exclaimed, turning softly and responding to bed. So Reese Silver looked at the plate from his lap, waiting until he took the cake in his hooves. Now hurry up and eat! This cake's not going to eat itself! Sighing, Pierre knew he couldn't argue with the blonde. Yet his stomach happily agreed to her demand. Licking his lips, the stallion raided his taste buds for sweetness and waited. You're right, AJ. I'm not used to good news. It always seems to happen before I get my hopes up. I guess today it was just meant to be a good one. Allow me to change that. Everybody's ears perked at the sound of a voice that echoed throughout the room. Pierre raised his brow, unsure of what to make the situation. As he trotted over to bed, giving the stallion a pathetic expression. Parker, was that you? Pierre continued to shift her head from one side to the other, searching for the source of the anomaly. Was it me? I'm just glad I'm not the only one who heard that. That the voices in my head were getting dangerously loud for a moment. However, Rarity's eyes filled with worry. Twilight, you don't believe that was... Before any pony could respond, a bright flash of Verity erupted, filling the room with light. Every pony shielded their eyes, waiting several moments to open them after the light disappeared. But no pony knew how to react to the being that appeared before them. It was a giant yellow triangle with one slanted eye and a top hat and a bow tie? Don't know why he had those, but let's just trust me. That was a bad sign. Nope, sorry, it's the other one. With the head of a pony, crimson red irises, a fanged smile, the chimera-like creature stood in the center of the room, with his arms, one ahead of a lion's and the other of an eagle's, crossed. Pierre tilted his head to the side. What the heck is that? It's like something that crawled out of the Museum of Unnatural History. Discord? Twilight shouted, cueing every pony to take a defensive stance in front of the bed, with the assistant of Trixie, who hid behind Pierre's position. Wait, whoa, girls, when did you get your spines back? Wait, that's Discord? Pierre blurted out, tempting himself to stand, but a little pain crushed through his leg, reminding him not to take a course of action. I thought he wasn't supposed to be here for another month! Ah, Spider-Man, it's nice to finally see you face to face. Discord chuckled. Pierce fell over his head for a little smack. What? He knows who I am? Peter, he has sent out a dragon against you twice. He had already sent his foreboding message. Yes, I think he knows who you are! Discord disappeared, reappearing with his arm from around Pierre's shoulder. Of course I do. Fortunately, the astral plane allows me to see everything. I just couldn't interact with any pony. It's a privilege and a curse. I am glad I'm free from that dreadful place for a moment. But unfortunately, I've come with some bad news. My time is limited, and we need to talk about important matters. Landing on an empty seat, Discord poured himself a drink and took a sip from his glass. Girls, if you would be so kind to bring Princess Celestia and her brute sister here, make sure they bring Cadance and Shiny Armor with them. They need to hear what I have to say, too. Twilight stepped away from the arrows with a glare in her eyes. For what exactly? Let's just say I made a slight miscalculation and need a little help sorting out in the world. It's just the fate of the world as we know it. Discord unsettling reply, eating a slice of cake in a single bite. Turned his gaze to Pierre Huff. Unless you'd rather have superpower lunatics annihilate the planet's population? No? Then hurry and bring every pony here. Wait, what are you talking about? Pierre Man's frowning. Your acquaintance, Osborne. He's preparing to take things to an extreme I dread to think about. Snapping his fingers, Discord caused an orb to appear, but exploded in a flash of light. All for the sake of a new world order. The dream is real, Twilight. Look what I did to your hoof. Click a smiley face.